Hello everybody, welcome back to Screenstars. Welcome to something a little bit different now, obviously. Normally I do top 10 lists, but I was thinking just the other day that I've actually watched some pretty good TV shows this year. Now, because of the commitment it takes to watch a TV show and follow it through till the end, I don't get an awful lot of opportunities to watch a lot of television because most of my time, certainly in regards to the channel, is spent reviewing films, watching films, playing games, reviewing games. That takes up an awful lot of my time on top of my full-time job and obviously my family commitments. So I don't get a lot of time to commit to TV shows, but there have been a number of TV shows this year that I've absolutely thoroughly enjoyed. So rather than doing a top 10 list, I'm going to do a top 5 list for my favourite TV shows of 2021. Now, the first TV show that I want to talk about is definitely one that would easily make the list of the top 5. It would possibly even be number 1 because I'm absolutely loving the show so far. And that is Dexter New Blood. Now, the only reason I am not putting this into the list is because the show hasn't finished yet. I've still got, I think, is it 3 episodes to watch? Something like that. But I'm absolutely loving the show, so I just didn't think it was fair to put it in the list when the show hasn't finished yet, and I want to really see how they conclude this series for me to really decide whether it's going to be really one of my favourite shows, certainly of this year. But as it stands right now, I'm absolutely loving the show, and I think it's the comeback that the show deserved after the lacklustre finale. Now then, coming in at number 5 on my list is a BBC drama. Now, BBC dramas and me don't usually get along, I'll be completely honest. But occasionally something comes along and there's a bit of a buzz about it, and family members will talk about it, or I'll hear people talk about it glowingly online, on Facebook or whatever, and it gets my interest up. So while I didn't see it when it was originally released on the BBC this year, I caught up with it a week or so later on BBC iPlayer, which is a catch-up service in the UK. I'm not sure if you get it worldwide. And I watched it with my wife, and it's like a BBC drama. It's like a mini-series, I suppose. I think it was 3 episodes. Sean Bean, Stephen Graham, and it's an absolutely fantastic show. It really, really grabbed both me and my wife. It's Sean Bean plays a normal guy who ends up causing an accident in his car, killing somebody while he's drunk, and ends up going to prison for it. And he has a torrid time in prison, facing up to what he has done, but also facing up to the new life he has inside prison. And Stephen Graham plays one of the prison guards, who is actually a really decent prison guard. He's firm but fair sort of thing. And he gets entangled with some prisoners inside the prison that turn his life upside down as well. What I'm basically saying, guys, is this is definitely worth a watch if you're wanting a really hard-hitting, like, prison drama that's been done right with some brilliant performances. Definitely worth checking out. Coming in at number 4 on this list is The Witcher Season 2. This has just come on Netflix this last couple of weeks. I'm a big fan, obviously, and I keep saying this, I'm a massive fan of The Witcher game, certainly The Witcher 3. Adore that game. I really enjoyed Season 1, even though the time shifting had issues. But it was just a brilliantly polished show with a great central performance by Henry Cavill. Season 2, I think, builds on and in some areas improves on what we got in Season 1. I'm hearing a few rumblings from Witcher purists who are not enjoying some of the direction some of the characters took in Season 2. I'm not too fussed about that. They did the same thing with Game of Thrones in the sense of they shifted things about to suit a TV audience. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, with them doing that in The Witcher as well. So that's why I don't have an issue with any of that, and I really, really enjoyed Season 2. Next on the list, coming in at number 3, I'm actually going to give the Grand Tour, basically, is what I'm trying to say. Now, the Grand Tour in the last 12 months have given us 3 really, really entertaining specials. There was a massive hunt that came out in December last year. So I think it was released something like the 18th of December. So if you're going strictly by the timing of this video, it's outside the 12 months, but it's not really. So we got a massive hunt, which was really, really entertaining. We got Lockdown, that was, what was it, August time? Something like that, July maybe. And it was the first one that they did while they was in lockdown, and it was in this country. It was based in Scotland. Very, very entertaining show. And the most recent one that we got was Carnage Artois, which came out just last week on Amazon Prime. And again, I really, really enjoyed that one. Big fan of the show. Really, really enjoy the Grand Tour. And I will always tune into the specials because I find them really, really entertaining. And I've enjoyed all the specials they've done this year, which is why it's number 3 in the list. Right, coming in at number 2 on the list is Midnight Mass. Another Netflix show that was just absolutely spectacular. They delivered Netflix with the Haunting of Hill House that they gave us a couple of years ago was absolutely brilliant. Bly Manor, which was very watchable, if a little bit less impressive than Hill House. I think that's fair to say, but it was still good. And the most recent one, Midnight Mass, in my opinion, is the best of the lot. Thoroughly outstanding show, really entertaining. And for those of you who haven't seen it, I strongly recommend you checking Midnight Mass out. It is absolutely brilliant about this young priest that turns up at this like fishing island, I suppose, or this island, this community, this religious community, and they all kind of get swept up in this mystery that takes place. Now, I don't want to spoil it in case you haven't seen it, but trust me, guys, you really do want to check it out. It's absolutely brilliant. It blew me away. It was just absolutely fantastic. But coming in at number 1, and this show was just spectacular. I think I gave it a 10 out of 10. No faults with it at all. And it is Clarkson's Farm, another Amazon show. And I think this... Who would have thought that this show would have been as good as it was? Now, I'm a big fan of Jeremy Clarkson. I'm certainly a big fan of him when he does his Grand Tour stuff and when he was in Top Gear. Generally speaking, when he steps out of those arenas, I'm not as big a fan. But this show was just outstanding. How many episodes? Was it 6 or 7 episodes? Something like that. With him, and for those of you who don't know, he actually owns his own farm, and this series documented his time on his farm. Now, when he bought this farm originally, the guy that owned the farm continued to farm it, but he retired a couple of years ago, and Clarkson had to take it on himself, and he decided to do it all himself, and he realised very, very quickly that he genuinely could not do it on his own, so he brings in Caleb and a few others to help him, and this show documents his ups and downs with it. It's entertaining, it's hilarious, it does wonders for the farm industry in the sense of shining a light on it, and for me it was just an absolutely spectacular show that I really, really enjoyed, and I cannot wait for the second series of Clarkson's Farm. It was a genuine gem for me. It was just highly entertaining, and one you should definitely check out if you haven't seen it. So that's my top 5 TV shows of 2021. All of those that I've mentioned are absolute crackers that you will no doubt enjoy if you get round to watching them. Let me know in the comments if there's other TV shows that you've watched that you enjoyed, because I will try and earmark some of them and try and watch them in the coming months if I get the opportunity. But once again, guys, thank you very much for watching, and I'll be back with plenty more reviews and content on the channel very, very soon.